11 ways to improve your memory. 1. Don't walk through a doorway. Have you ever walked into a room and forgot why you're there? The act of walking through a doorway can make you go blank. The doorway effect was tested in the lab and in video games. Each participant picked up an object and placed it in a box. They carried it within the same room and went through doorways. They were quizzed which object they were carrying. Once in a new room, their responses were slower and less accurate. 2. Concentrate for 8 seconds. When you really need to remember something, try this trick. It takes 8 seconds for information to be stored in long-term memory. 3. Make a fist. Clenching your fist can actually help you recall information. Make a fist with your right hand if you're right-handed. You can try squeezing a stress ball. Hold it for 45 seconds, then memorize a piece of information. When you need to remember it, clench your left hand and hold. The process is reversed for lefties. 4. Visualize. The method of loci is a memorization technique. It relies on visualizing familiar spaces. Each piece of data is associated with a specific spot within this space. To remember things, you walk through your imaginary place. This technique is often used by memory contest champions. It helps them recall lists of words, digits, and faces. 5. Doodle. It seems as if doodlers are not paying attention, but the act of drawing helps keep the brain active. In a study, people had to memorize a boring phone message. Some were given a doodling task while listening. Others sat still and listened. Those who were doodling ended up remembering 29% more of the tape. 6. Use crazy fonts. The harder it is to read, the better. Unusual fonts require more concentration. In a study, people were asked to memorize a list of words. The words were both in bold and non-bold fonts. Participants expected they would recall the bold words easier, so they studied them less, but it led to the opposite result. 7. Chew gum. A study has found that chewing gum can improve focus. Participants were given visual and auditory memory tasks. Those who chewed gum did better on 30-minute tasks. Those who didn't chew gum did better on short pop quizzes. 8. Sleep. When we're awake, the brain is bombarded with stimuli. While we're sleeping, it actively processes information. It filters out the unnecessary bits. The important stuff gets encoded into long-term memory. So pulling an all-nighter before a test is a bad idea. 9. Write things out. Today, we're used to typing up almost all the writing, but writing things out by hand can boost the ability to recall. It doesn't even matter if you never read back what you wrote. Typing doesn't have the same effect. 10. Turn off the music. Any noise is a distraction for the brain. Music breaks your concentration. It's as distracting as if someone were yelling random numbers at you. However, researchers made a curious discovery. Listening to music before starting to read can give you better recall. 11. Exercise. Physical activity boosts oxygen supply to the brain. It can enhance alertness and our ability to remember. A quick jog can help you right now, but it's even more effective over the long term. Women aged 70 to 80 volunteered in a study. All of them suffered from mild cognitive impairment. They were divided into 3 groups. Some of them lifted weights, others went for brisk walks. The third group did stretching. After 6 months, their memory was tested again. The women who had lifted weights or walked showed positive results. They scored higher on all the cognitive tests. The stretching group's cognitive abilities have deteriorated, so endurance training might even protect you from Alzheimer's.